Let me ask you something uncomfortable. Why does a woman meet one man and sleep with him the same night, but make another man wait weeks, months, sometimes forever? And before you answer, let me save you from the usual lies. It's not luck. It's not timing. It's not that one guy was more romantic. And it's definitely not because she wanted to take things slow. It's instinct. Here's the part most men don't want to hear, but need to hear. Before you even say hello, before you open your mouth, before you try to impress her, she already knows who you are to her. Not consciously, not logically, but biologically. By the end of this video, you're going to understand why some men trigger instant desire, while others never will, no matter how kind, patient, or hardworking they are. And more importantly, you'll understand how most men unknowingly destroy attraction within the first few minutes. Now listen carefully. Men believe attraction grows with effort. Women don't experience it that way. Men think attraction is built. Women feel attraction as a switch. It's either on or it never really turns on at all. This is where the first illusion breaks. Most men imagine attraction as something that develops over time. That if they just show enough interest, consistency, care, and effort, desire will slowly grow. That's not how female attraction works. Female attraction is decided fast, often within seconds. And once you're placed in the wrong category, it's almost impossible to escape. That's why one man can say very little and ignite something instantly, while another man can say all the right things and still feel invisible. This isn't about what you say. It's about what you project. Because here's the truth. She doesn't hear your words first. She feels your presence. And that feeling tells her everything she needs to know. Let me explain what's really happening inside her mind. There's a psychological mechanism called thin slicing. It means the brain makes rapid judgments based on minimal information. Women are exceptionally good at this. In the first moments, her brain is scanning you for signals. How you walk, how you hold your body, your eye contact, your voice tone, your pace, your stillness. Not your job, not your money, not your clever lines, your energy. And energy is not something you can fake for long. A man who is centered moves differently. A man who needs approval leaks it everywhere. She picks that up instantly. That's why some men don't need to explain themselves. They don't sell. They don't chase. Their presence speaks before they do. Now here's where things get dangerous for most men. Because the moment she feels you, she places you into a box. Not 10 boxes, not endless possibilities, 3. And once you're in a box, she interacts with you according to that role. Let's talk about the first box. Box number 1, the respected man. This man is solid, reliable, emotionally stable. He listens. He's polite. He doesn't push. Women respect this man. They trust him. They feel safe around him. And that's exactly the problem, because safety without tension does not create desire. This man creates comfort, not polarity. She might say things like, "You're such a good guy. I feel so comfortable with you. You're going to make someone very happy." And every time she says that, attraction quietly dies. This man becomes the emotional couch. Useful, supportive, but never sexually urgent. He didn't do anything wrong. He just didn't do anything that disrupted her emotional equilibrium. Now let's talk about the second box. This is the most painful one. Box number 2, the pleaser. This man tries too hard. He talks too much. Explains himself. Overshares. Overtexts. He wants to be liked so badly that it shows. He asks questions not out of curiosity, but out of fear of silence. He agrees too fast, apologizes too much. And her nervous system reads this instantly. She doesn't think he's kind. She feels he needs something from me. And need kills desire faster than rejection ever could. To her, this man feels predictable, controllable, emotionally heavy, not exciting. She may keep him around for attention, for validation, for emotional support. But sexually, he's already out. Now here's the brutal part. Most men bounce between these two boxes without realizing it. They think they're being respectful, but they're actually removing tension. They think they're being attentive, but they're actually signaling need. And the more effort they apply, the worse it gets. Because effort without polarity feels like pressure, not attraction. Let me pause here and ask you something. Have you ever noticed how the harder you try with some women, the colder they become? And with others, you barely try at all and they lean in? That's not coincidence. That's categorization. Now here's the part that changes everything. There is a third box. And this box doesn't operate on logic. It operates on instinct. But before I explain that box, you need to understand something crucial. Attraction is not a moral reward. Women don't sleep with men because they deserve it. They sleep with men because their body responds. Desire is not a decision, it's a reaction. And once you understand that, everything you've been taught about dating starts to collapse. In the next part, I'm going to break down the third box. The one that creates instant desire. The one most men never enter. And I'm also going to explain why being nice often works against you, even though nobody wants to admit it. If this is already hitting uncomfortably close to home, pause for a second. Ask yourself, which box have I been living in? Now let's talk about the box most men never enter. Not because it's locked, but because it requires something most men have been trained out of. Box number 3, the desired man. This man is rare. Not louder, not flashier, not more aggressive, calmer. He doesn't rush. He doesn't over-explain. He doesn't try to win her over. He's present but not needy, interested but not attached, warm but not seeking approval. And the moment she feels him, something subtle but powerful happens inside her. Her heart rate changes, her attention narrows, her logic weakens, not because she chooses it, because her nervous system responds. This is where most men misunderstand desire. They think attraction is created by action, by doing more, but the desired man creates attraction by subtraction. He removes noise, removes urgency, removes the need to prove, and in that stillness, tension appears. Sexual tension does not come from words. It comes from polarity, and polarity begins with self-control. This man does not chase her emotions. He does not react to every signal. He does not fill every silence. He lets moments breathe, and that space, that uncertainty, that's where desire grows. Now listen carefully. This is not about being cold. It's not about ignoring her. It's not about playing games. It's about being centered. A man with center does not collapse when attraction is uncertain. He does not speed up to secure it. He does not slow down to appease it. He stays in his frame. And that frame is what she feels. Now let's address the uncomfortable truth that makes a lot of men angry. Why do nice guys lose? Because kindness without polarity feels neutral. Because safety without edge feels flat. Because consistency without mystery feels predictable. Kindness is not unattractive. But kindness alone does not create desire. And here's the line that changes how you see everything. Safe is the man she trusts. Desired is the man who disrupts her emotional equilibrium. The desired man does not make her anxious. He makes her alert. Her attention wakes up around him. He doesn't try to calm her emotions. He allows them. And that's what creates surrender. Which brings us to sexual polarity. Masculine energy is not domination. It's direction. It's stillness under pressure. It's certainty without force. Feminine energy responds to that. When polarity is strong, she doesn't need to control. She doesn't need to test logic. She doesn't need to negotiate attraction. She feels safe enough to feel. But most men destroy polarity without realizing it. They talk too much, explain their intentions, over-communicate feelings. They turn tension into comfort, and comfort kills polarity. Now, let's talk about something that confuses a lot of men. What happens when a woman is clearly attracted, but still pulls back? She replies slower, she delays meeting, she becomes inconsistent. Hot one moment, cold the next. Most men panic here. They think attraction is fading. But very often, this is not rejection. This is a compliance test. She is watching one thing and one thing only. Do you lose your center? Do you become reactive? Do you overtext? Do you seek reassurance? Or do you remain grounded? Here's the mistake. Men think waiting equals weakness. It doesn't. Waiting from weakness is when you pause your life, lower your standards, orbit around her attention. That kind of waiting bleeds power. Attraction drops, respect drops, polarity collapses. But waiting from strength looks very different. You continue your life, your purpose, your rhythm. You don't punish her. You don't chase her. You simply remain available without being attached. And that creates scarcity. Not manufactured scarcity, natural scarcity. Because a man with direction is never fully available. And that's what her instincts respond to. Let me say this clearly. The desired man does not wait to be chosen. He allows choice to reveal itself. There is a massive difference. Now, here's a paradox most men struggle with. The more available you are, the less valuable you feel. Not because availability is bad, but because predictability kills dopamine. The brain craves contrast. When everything is guaranteed, nothing feels urgent. Comfort is easy to replace. Challenge is unforgettable. That's why men who give too much too soon fade from memory. And men who remain slightly out of reach linger. Now here comes the second twist. And this one hurts. When a woman truly wants you, she does not hesitate. She does not need months to decide. She does not need endless figuring it out. Desire moves quickly. If she keeps you waiting indefinitely, it is not because she is virtuous. It is because you feel safe. And safe men are held in reserve. This is where men lie to themselves. They call it patience. They call it loyalty. They call it maturity. But what it really is avoidance of truth. The truth is simple. Attraction either pulls her forward or it doesn't. Now here's the empowering part. This is not about becoming someone else. It's about removing what weakens you. Stop convincing. Stop proving. Stop negotiating attraction. Your job is not to persuade desire into existence. Your job is to become a man whose presence makes desire possible. In the final part, I'm going to bring everything together. I'll show you how to reclaim your center, how to stop chasing selection, and how attraction changes the moment you do. Before you continue, ask yourself one honest question. Where do you lose your center? Because wherever that happens is where attraction breaks. Now let's bring everything together. Because once you see this clearly, you can't unsee it. Most men believe their role with women is to convince, to impress, to endure long enough to be chosen. They think patience is power. They think effort creates desire. They think if they just hold on, eventually she will see their value. That belief quietly ruins them. A man is not meant to be evaluated like a resume. Attraction is not a committee decision. And the moment you start performing for approval, you abandon your center. Here is the redefinition that changes everything. Your role is not to persuade. Your role is not to prove. Your role is not to wait in emotional limbo. Your role is to become a standard. A man with direction does not chase interest. He generates gravity. He knows where he is going. He knows what he tolerates. He knows when to walk away without bitterness. That certainty is not loud. It is felt. This is why energy always beats words. You can say all the right things and still feel invisible. You can say very little and still be undeniable. Because attraction is not built through explanation. It is transmitted through presence. Now let's talk about center, because this is the core of everything. Center is emotional self-sufficiency. It is the ability to stay grounded regardless of her response. When she leans in, you don't inflate. When she pulls away, you don't collapse. You stay steady. And that steadiness is what her nervous system relaxes into. A man without center seeks validation. A man with center creates safety without surrendering polarity. This is why chasing women backfires. The more you chase, the more you communicate that you are incomplete without her response. And need is the opposite of desire. Here's the moment most men miss. The moment you stop chasing women, you start attracting them. Not because you become colder, but because you become fuller. You stop orbiting. You stop waiting to be chosen. You start choosing yourself. And women feel that shift immediately. Now, let me say something that will upset some people. If a woman makes you wait indefinitely, she is not confused. She is not healing. She is not unsure. She has decided where you belong. And staying in that position does not earn attraction. It erodes it. Walking away calmly, without resentment, does more for your polarity than any speech ever could. Not as a tactic, as a consequence of self-respect. This is the final twist. Attraction is not about getting women to want you. It is about becoming the kind of man women respond to instinctively. And that starts the moment you stop outsourcing your worth, when you live with direction, when you protect your center, when you stop negotiating desire. You don't chase selection. You become the standard. Let me leave you with this. Attraction happens in a moment. Energy beats words. Polarity beats effort. Center beats validation. And the man who understands this never has to ask where he stands. If this video gave you clarity, not comfort, you're in the right place. Subscribe if you're done waiting to be chosen. Comment below, I reclaim my center. And share this with a man who still believes effort creates desire. Because the moment you stop chasing women, you start attracting them.